Personalized recommendation from polarization to discovery is the next one. Jean-Gabriel Piguet and Gaetano Manzo, welcome on stage.
Hello, good evening everyone. So I am Jean-Gabriel Piguet, an ethicist and political scientist, and I'm here to present you a joint project that brings together HES-SO Valais-Wallis and SSR. Well, the problem of filter bubbles and personalized recommendations is rather well known now. We heard a lot about it during the last two elections in the US. But did you realize that filter bubbles were not only related to misinformation? As a matter of fact, an algorithm on a streaming platform that would recommend only a content that is the most popular would largely contribute to society's division. It may be as dangerous in the long term as misinformation. You might ask, isn't it what all personalized recommendation systems do? Build bubbles to satisfy users' preferences. Our project intends to demonstrate the opposite on the PlaySwiss streaming platform. As a public service, the aim of PlaySwiss is to promote Swiss cultural and linguistic diversity. As a public service, it has no business model that will compel him to suggest to the user only what catches his eyes the most immediately. It can run the risk of recommending a type of content to the user that he will not have thought of by himself. Content in another language or on a subject that is not considered much in his cultural group. Content that can arouse its curiosity and sense of discovery. So let us see how we can do that with Gaetano.
So let's dive in a bit in the technical part. It will be a bit interactive, this presentation. So getting separated to get united. I swear it's not a political debate, but it's more a way to explain an AI branch, particularly unsupervised machine learning, called clustering. So what we want to do here is really to understand if there are some groups, understand if there are some threads. So, for instance, we can take features or characteristics that group people together. In this case, an example is people that chosen to watch a specific item in French, German, Italian, and Romansh. And I'm not from Switzerland, but beauty of Switzerland is this diversity that you can actually shape what the system output into geographically shapes. So you can actually understand the border of these groups. But for the system, for the recommendation system, these are just groups of people putting together because they have common characteristics. So here the interacting part. We want to understand how these clusters, these groups, they communicate to each other, they link to each other. So from the public, I will suggest, do you have any suggestion? If so, too shy? Okay, I will give you the rest. So for instance, we can understand what are the most relevant items in each cluster. Relevant, it means everything and nothing. Maybe it's the most popular, but something really old is probably the most popular. Or maybe it's the one that in a shorter time got really popular. So there are several thresholds that you must select and leverage on. Once that you do this, for instance, here from the French part, the German part, and the Italian part, you try to understand what are the common features that related this content together. In this case, there is an example of a talent show, so it can be a music talent show, dancing talent show. Once that we understand this feature among the contents, we need to select a specific target inside the cluster. So from a big, huge cluster, which was the whole Switzerland, we slowly going to target a specific audience. And once that we do this, we try to understand what are actually the interaction among the clusters. As explained by my colleague, we really aim for openness and diversity. This is a cultural mix. So how we do this? First, we need to address and understand the implicit feature. There are some explicit features that are coming from the platform, but there are many that you must estimate. For instance, from the watching time of a specific content of a specific user, you can understand if the user actually liked or hated a specific item. And this is just an example of the rating evaluation. The second step is actually clustering. Previously, we saw users getting together because they have chosen to watch a specific content in a specific language. But also the weekday or the weekend day, it can have a huge effect on the recommendation system. And finally, we develop and create our hybrid architecture, item collaborative filtering. Item filtering, same content. Comedy, I will suggest user comedy content. Collaborative, it's really important to understand also people that love comedy, what actually love. So in this way, you create a relation between contents that it's not related to the contents, but it's to create to the user that watch that content. So I gave you a brief overview of our project, and I will be pleased to continue this discussion at the stand. So see you there. Thank you.